What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video by Dusty Minister, and for this video today, we're gonna get into another patch. That's right, we got another patch, guys. This is the second balance patch that we got for Dawn of War 1, and it's gonna be so interesting to see how this one will turn out. I think I've talked so much about this patch with my patch breakdown, with my patch breakdown with Demilish, the video I made about breaking down his video. So I've talked a lot, as in a lot, with this patch here. There's a few casts that I recorded long ago that is starting to be dropped now, which is bad timing because they just dropped the new patch, right? But it is what it is. If you can't tell, I am very inactive in many regards. I'm trying to stay on top. I'm trying to play the game. I'm starting to get active in the Discord because there's a lot of talks on Discord and I want to like stay in the loop. But like actual YouTube work right now, I've had to postpone that a lot. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, it is what it is. Life is real. And so when this patch dropped, I was like, damn, I can't like, and this is just right now Denmark is like crazy in terms of degrees. We are very borderline making heat records, and I'm just like sweating like crazy. If you can hear it, I don't hope you can. I have a fan in the background, and you might be like, oh, that one is a little annoying to listen to. I'm sorry, but it's basically what keeps me alive right now. So it is what it is. And when this patch dropped, I was like, oh damn, I can't. It's too hot. It's trash o'clock when I realized what happened here. When it dropped, and I was like, I can't do this. I have to go to sleep. I have to try and like stay on top. I need to get out at work early in the morning and stuff. So I just can't. And damn, like, oh man, it's gonna be so tough to just make another video and stuff. And then Mr. Landshark dropped the video instantly. I was like, what? Bro, we need to talk. Mr. Landshark dropping that video, I was like, that almost felt like a diss track. That almost felt like a diss track. That boy being like, Dusty, what are you complaining about? That boy stayed up trash o'clock to just, you know, his wife was going to bed. He was trying to like close all the doors. He didn't have a fan going, so that boy just stayed in there through the heat, sweating like crazy, and he was dying, and he still made the video, and I was like, damn, I am really complaining a lot. I need to get in the booth, you know? Like, I need to get in here. And so that felt like some JC doing takeover on his Blueprint album, and now I have to go ether, you know? That's what I have to do now. So the only thing I can do is just do a better breakdown. Okay, we'll do a little bit of breakdown. By the way, shout out to Mr. Landshark. I love you, brother. Oh, and another thing. I need to do some shout outs here. Krulo War, go subscribe to him. Polish commentator, just got into the game. He's casting right now the Polish Championship. Shout out to the Polish community. We should support new faces in the Dawn of War community, so shout out to him. Go and subscribe. He's doing great, brother. Another one, Hopsaya, I've seen you around. Hope you'll enjoy your stay, brother. Welcome back. So all the shout outs are done. Let's get into it. I have not watched the patch just yet, but I know a thing or two based on what's going on Discord. It's going to be interesting to get in there. And I just want to talk about the state of the game, and let's have a talk about it. So this was my tier list post-patch breakdown. My opinions has changed a lot on certain things. We'll get into that. But this was just what I expected. Some of it was kind of based, and other stuff was completely wrong. And this just tells you that all your predictions about balance can be completely in the gutter. So, yeah, let's just get into it. What I was very much correct about was Dark Eldar. I'm gonna tell you right now, Relic just completely smoked on this one. I can't believe how OP Dark Eldar is, and I must admit, I can't believe that that got through. I'm assuming they're testing a lot, so I just find it completely crazy that that stuff got tested, and then those guys were like, yeah, that seems fine. That's crazy, dude. Like, Dark Eldar is completely overpowered. They win pretty much every single matchup, and the few matchups that's close, it's close. You know? Like, at least they can compete in every single matchup, and it makes you go like, there's something messed up going on here, dude. Like, I don't even know how to explain how OP Dark Eldar is. I can go matchup for matchup. I can just talk about their overall design at this point compared to the numbers and all that stuff. Everything is so overpowered, I almost don't know where to start. I guess the Warriors is the first thing I'm thinking about. I was like looking at that, being like, you know what? 50 HP, that's a good increase in HP, and then they lowered some damage here and there. I can see it. I don't think this is too bad. And then you just realize, no, it literally makes Warriors just get under like 2 or 3 turrets of Orks, just get below 2 banners and a listening post, killing a whole army and destroying both banners and being like, this is fine, no? Bruh, it shouldn't be a thing. It really, really should not be a thing. Dark Eldar is completely bonkers. They win every single matchup except for Sisters and Necrons. And we'll get to both those races, by the way, but Sisters, I think that's close to being, you know, I'm not completely sold yet. I think both races are just completely bonkers. So when it's like, that's like 2 titans. That's like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object when those 2 goes together and just like bangs like this, you know, like it's crazy when you see those 2 races, and we'll get to Sisters. Dark Eldar, I don't even know where to start. I'm just hoping they do some pretty hefty nerfs because that's very much needed. Eldar, I think I underestimated some of the nerfs towards Eldar. I also overestimated a little bit. The reason why I ended up saying they're very strong and like the second strongest race is just because I underestimated some of the other races that is above them. But I still think, so there's 2 races that is above them right now. And so I underestimated how other races got stronger. But that doesn't change the fact that Eldar is a very, very, very powerful race. There's too many fundamental things that didn't get nerfed. And yeah, it's crazy to me. So Eldar is, I think they are in the strong category, but in the very strong plus category. Their top 4 race, there's only 2 races, or 3 races that's above them. Dark Eldar is still really brutal. I did predict that. But IG needs a little bit more help in this matchup, just a tad bit more. Because, yeah, it's still not a good matchup. Tau actually got worse for Eldar, it seems. Yeah, and there's other races that for no apparent reason just got so strong that Eldar is suddenly not the most broken race, which is crazy. Orks, I underestimated the nerf towards Orks. You can see I put them here in strong category. It is a mixture between me or underestimating some of the nerfs, of how heavy the nerfs was, and then underestimating some of the matchups for them that got very brutal. I did not expect Dark Eldar to just make it so Orks is borderline unplayable in that matchup. And I did not expect Sisters of all races to just completely obliterate Orks. In many different matchups that they used to stomp, it's pretty much a 50-50 at this point. And Orks is, if they are favored against a race, it's slightly favored, and that's problematic. So I'll put them down in mid. I still don't think they're weak, like very weak or weak-ish, but they're borderline weakish. I think I might switch this up. I'm not sure how this will pan out. Yeah. Another one that I underestimated, I said that IG overall got buffed. But I did underestimate, and that's my bad, guys. I did underestimate some of the actual nerfs they got. How heavy they would be, but even worse, I underestimated some of the external buffs they got. Or overestimated, I think I said. And I did that indeed. So instead of saying that they got up in good category, I'll just put them in mid. They still got some favorite matchups, but they don't got a matchup that makes me go, damn. IG's the most broken shit I've ever seen. Not anymore. There are some stuff about IG that I still think needs, you know, some few nerfs here and there, but overall, I think IG needs a little bit of help in the grand scheme of things. I used to say before the patch that they were in mid, so that doesn't mean that I'm just laying on the ground and saying sorry for what I said, because imagine if we did not have all the nerfs that IG got. Imagine all the big nerfs that IG got, and they're still not down in weakish and very weak, according to me. And by the way, there's a lot of people who actually cares about this game that agrees with me. Because, and we're talking pro players as well. The problem for IG is that even though they have some favorite matchups, they also have matchups that is absolutely unplayable. And that doesn't mean that IG got underserved nerfs. That means that other races got insane buffs and it's borderline unplayable to be IG. They have 3 matchups, Dark Eldar, Sisters, and Necrons, that's completely like, especially the Sisters one. You cannot play against this race as IG. You cannot. I'm not going to go in depth, but those 3 races is so hard to play against. Tau is still tough, and Eldar is still tough. But yeah, so IG needs some help. But it's still external stuff. IG does not need to have reverted that nerfs, because imagine if we did not nerf them, imagine that. They would be a clear top 3 race. I guarantee you that. So they stay in mid. They did not go up. They did not go down. They stay in mid before the patch. Just like before the patch. Okay, Necrons. This is one of the races that's above Eldar. There's 3 races that's above Eldar, and it's Necrons. I said Eldar is borderline very strong, and Necrons is borderline just strong. But I think I'll just bump them, just edge them up to very strong. Necrons, if you think logically about it, they had 2 problems. One, that big 6-point maps are borderline unplayable. And 2, they have really bad matchups. All their bad matchups got nerfs, and they are already really good at handling the other 2 very strong races, or OP races, I should say, being, spoiler alert, Sisters and Dark Eldar. Which is a very good sign. Like, Necrons is probably the best race to actually handle Dark Eldar. That's crazy, right? So, Necrons is just still really good against Tau. The Eldar matchup is actually very doable now. Depending on the map, obviously. They stomp IG now. That one went from a slightly favored, slightly favored Necron matchup, or maybe a 60-40 towards Necrons, to now being an 80-20. It's very brutal. And yeah, Necrons is super strong. The only race that I think is funny that they're still having problems against is Orks. I think Orks being eco-heavy, which is the style now that Orks needs to do, actually is possible against Necron, so maybe that's why. Every other matchup, except for Space Marines, and we'll get to Space Marines, got overall better for Necrons. And if you think logically about it, it makes sense, right? Because they got eco changes, very big eco buffs. I did not realize how big those were. So it means that it's easier for them to play on big maps. And the thermal plasma generator change was very, very good and healthy for them. On a map like Meaning of Mines, it's actually low-key doable now for Necrons, just because of those eco buffs. And almost every other race got nerfed. So it means that Necrons just stayed at their level, but got higher and overall more flexible, while almost everyone else just got nerfs. And then you're like, what about Dark Eldar? But Necrons was already handling Dark Eldar very well, and they still do. Let's get into it. Tau, I'm gonna let them stay here, actually. I think Tau is still having some issues against some brutal matchups, but they're still really good against Eldar. They're still really good against IG. Chaos matchup isn't as bad as I expected it to be. So that's also a plus. Orks got way better for Tau, but it's just other races like Necrons and Dark Eldar got worse for them. And Sisters of Battle is just bonkers at this point. So I think overall I'll make Tau stay here, but they are staying here for different reasons. IG, we already talked about IG and Orks. Now let's talk about Chaos. Bam. I am not kidding. It's the worst race there is in the whole game right now. Chaos Marines are not strong enough. Raptor buffs was very, very good, but it wasn't as strong as I expected it to be. Khorne Berserkers are very obnoxious and strong, but they did not get into a stupid OP territory, which is really good. But it just means that all those questions I had was, you know, what, like the worries that I had never ended up being bad. And so Nakehold got heavily nerfed, and so Chaos needs help. I think Defiler maybe got too much nerfed. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I still think Chaos has really strong sides to them, but they just have too many problems. Sisters of Battle is completely unplayable. Orks can still be a very big struggle for Chaos on certain maps. Space Marines is favored now against Chaos. You know, I can kind of keep on going. Eldar is still having a good time, and Dark Eldar is now favored against Chaos. You know, like, that's crazy, right? So, yeah. Space Marines, I'll put them up here. I'm borderline setting them up. They're above IG and Orks. They're definitely above them. I just don't know. I think I'll put them here in good. They're borderline mid, but I think I'll put them up in good. Yeah. Orks became a 50-50 matchup. It's super map reliant. If it's very big, jump-heavy maps, where mobility is important, Orks is favored. If it's tight and very fight-heavy, and you have to contest the map, it's SM favored. That's good. IG is slightly favored towards IG, the IG-SM matchup. It's slightly favored towards IG, but it's not unplayable at all, except for 1 or 2 maps, which is Emerald River and Titan's Fall. And even those are actually playable, so they're just really brutal. Sisters of Battle, SM is actually the race that can handle Sisters the most. And that is important. We'll get to why. Eldar is still broken, though, against SM specifically. Dark Eldar got worse for SM, and yeah. But SM got better against Orks. They got better against IG. They got they got significantly better thinking about Nakehold. So they got a lot better against Chaos. And they got better against Necrons, and Necrons needs help in this matchup at this point. But the reason why I can't put SM up here is because This race right here is stronger than them. Matter of fact, let's just get to it. Sisters is up here. Jesus Christ, dude. Sisters is better than them. It doesn't mean that SM is actually the best to compete against Sisters, but SM is still not stronger than Sisters. Dark Eldar is borderline unplayable for SM. Eldar is not unplayable, but it's brutal matchup. And Necrons, they are very favored against Necrons, but Necrons is stronger in the grand scheme of things. Tau is slightly favored towards Tau in the SM-Tau matchup. Orks is a 50-50, IG is slightly favored. So just across the board, SM is in a good spot. It's just they have some matchups that's very unplayable, and then they have one matchup that's too bad for the opponent of SM, which is Necrons. So Chaos is down in a weakish. I think some of it is meta-dependent, so I'm not saying they're down and very weak, but they're weakish, for sure. They need help, and I hope that Relic is going to do something about it. Sisters, let's just very shortly talk about it. They need to nerf everything in early game, and then they need to buff a lot of stuff in the later stages of the game, because all their weaknesses gets covered up because they're just too OP. Faith makes them not unkillable, but it makes them very hard to kill. Phosphor Grenade is completely insane. They just mass and spam units all day long. Yeah, and Canoness and all their units gets way too fast out of the barrack. I can just keep on going. This race needs nerfs because the early game is so bonkers that I can't even explain how OP that is. Nerf that, please. All right, let's chop this Fable, shall we? Shall we get into it? I think we should. Let's kill it. Okay, 2.9 update patch notes. Let's go. Today's update aims to improve multiplayer balance in the latter stages of the game of a match, while continuing to refine the changes we made previously for the early and mid-game in update 2.8. As part of this, we're moving the second global research and requisition of power for Eldar and Tau to tier 3. This is really good, by the way. These factions could previously research them in tier 2.5, which allowed them to easily get further ahead in games if they were already winning. Yeah, it's true. Especially Eldar could just stay in tier 2.5 for such a long time. Not that it's the best, but the fact that they can just do that all day long is crazy. The team will continue to monitor the state of the multiplayer meta after this update, while a focus on additional adjustment for update 2.10 for the months ahead. Thanks to all our players and ongoing feedback of bug reports, your passion has been instrumental in our ongoing support of Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition. Great. Let's get into it. A fair multiplayer experience. Thanks to the passion and dedication of this community, we have been able to reinvest in creating a more balanced and stable multiplayer experience in Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition. Updates 2.8 and 2.9 both contain balance changes as well as enhanced detection and reporting on mod and cheat usage in Automatch. Going forward from the release of update 2.9, there are new policies being enforced to create an even more playing field, to create a more even playing field for all players. Okay. Bug removal and map hacks, mods that reveal units that would otherwise be obscured from the camera and the minimap. Sounds great, right? Oh, maximum camera distance mods that allow for a much larger overview of the map than intended. What's that maximum though? And much larger. Does that say that a little bit larger is good? I don't get this. I think they actually just completely capped it. Loose file mods will no longer impact the cam. Okay. Yeah. So loose file mods will no longer impact the camera when playing auto match. Yeah, okay. These mods will continue to work in all other mods. Or modes. Okay, I'm very happy about the last sentence, by the way. Look, I've been very openly against completely just making it so Cameramod isn't possible. In fact, I have been very open critiquing the idea of just removing the zoom outs. What I've been critical of is hyper zoom outs. This is why I was very happy that they only wanted to remove fog removal and map hacks. But now we have a new problem. I call it a new problem. It's not really a new problem because you know, I think it's fair because, you know what? I'm not a fan of 55 zoom out. I think that's the max that you can zoom out on a game. I would more like, you know, 60, 65 because that feels more comfortable for me. I understand anything above is crazy. But for me, I would rather have Relic take a stance. And I am so happy that they finally took a stance. And I'm even more happy the mother effers are not touching it in any other mode. I'm very happy about that because as a caster, and I hope you guys understand how this is. If you do what I do, which is cast hundreds of games in just one tournament, do it several days in a row, while watching a game, casting everything, the micro action, while also going in and trying to catch all the macro and economy, while catching everything that's going on with multiplayer or with players just multitasking like crazy. And then having a camera that's not that zoomed out, that is very, very brutal for me as a caster to make that work. And people are already complaining sometimes. It's very few people that does that. If I move the camera a lot very fast, but this is just my style because I want to catch everything. I can probably improve that a little bit, but only a little bit. But if my camera is zoomed in like the old school camera, it's going to be even tougher to catch everything because I have to drag the camera a lot sometimes to catch all the actions. And you know what? As a player, I'm completely fine with that. But as a caster, it's going to be tough. And you might be like, oh, come on, bro. It's not that bad. Yes. Go cast hundreds and hundreds of games with no camera mod. I'm going to tell you right now, that shit is brutal. I respect other casters to try and do that, but it takes a lot of energy out of me to do that because I have to just always stay on point and be in the game and be in the zone without, you know, dragging the camera like crazy. And if you don't understand that, that's fine, but it's the truth. I understand if other casters want to do that, but I'm gonna just tell you right now, casting like a bunch of games in a row, that will be very hard and energy consuming. So, and then they also talk about atmospheric fog removal mods typically paired with camera distance mods intended to reveal. You know what? This is all fine. Even though I disagree with the actual, I felt like there was a middle ground with this, but I would much rather have them actually make a decision and say, this is our stance, than do nothing. I respect that. So that is very, very, very good for me. So I'm very happy about it. And especially map packs, get that shit out of here. Now, the above behaviors all run counter to the intended multiplayer experience as designed by the Team Relic, both past and present. Note these policies apply to base auto-match pool for the game. Those playing auto-match with large-scale multiplayer mods are placed into their own matchmaking queues that do not enforce these policies. Okay. Those playing custom games or watching replays are also not restricted. Great. Those reported or detecting using mods cheats, I love that they put it in parentheses, by the way, that violate the spirit of fair competition will receive suspension that start with 48 hours bans from automatch and escalate to a permanent suspension for repeat of flagrant offenders. go. Okay, multiplayer balance. I respect that, Relic. Fair play. Multiplayer balance, chaos. Okay. Please buff chaos. Jesus Christ. So, for chaos, we're making some minor tweaks to vehicles as well as buffing the Demon Prince so that it can have more impact in the late game. Good. Defiler changes in update 2.8 were too harsh. I agree. It will get back its area of effect, but will have reduced damage, morale damage, and knockback force. Okay. We're also making... Oh, I hope this is... Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're also making the Chaos Marines less time to recover from morale break status. Oh, nice. To improve their performance in some matchups. Yeah, I F with this. Chaos Marine... Ah, damn. Come on, Relic. What's up with, like, the Chaos hate? I don't understand this. Is it because you guys just don't like heresy? Okay. Let's keep it real, though. Morale required to remove morale break status reduced from 150 to 100. So, for you guys who didn't know, many different infantry units obviously have different values of morale. And they also have different regions of morale and all kinds of stuff. But one thing they also have is a threshold for which they regain their morale status. And for Chaos, that threshold was very high. That's half of their whole morale pool. So that being low to 100, I'm not even sure if this is enough. I would probably make it 75, but like at this point, we're probably splitting hairs. For context, Tactical Space Marines has a threshold of 50, right? So this is a big buff. It's not a massive one, but it's a big one. It's not a ginormous buff. There you go. But it's a big one. Chaos Marines needs more help. Like, grenades, the nerfs was... Well, I understand where they were coming from, but I think it was too harsh. And the... How do I say this? The impact of... Like, their damage is a little bit too low still. I feel like both in Infantry High, they need some help. And I also think Heavy Infantry Medium needs a little bit of buff for Chaos Marines. If Relic is afraid, if you guys are listening, if Relic is listening, if you guys are afraid of those numbers, just a little bit, just give them something, bro. Because Chaos Marines, to me, are just very underwhelming compared to their cost. And I think Tactical Space Marines pre-tier 2, pre-1.5, Chaos Marines are just a little too weak for my taste. And they're getting outperformed, basically, by Tactical Space Marines. I know that changes as soon as the Chaos Aspiring Champion gets in, but other races got very strong in tier 1.5 and stuff. In this meta, Chaos needs help in tier 1, I think, because there's too much stuff that's very powerful in tier 1. Chaos Marines 100%, I guarantee, needs more than this. Chaos vehicles now have... but this is a very good start. Chaos vehicles now have the same bonus for heavy cover as the vehicles from all other factions. Okay. Range damage received while in heavy cover reduced from 80% to 75%. What? There's no way that vehicles gets 80% in heavy cover. There's no way. I need to see this. So, I'm in the big key right now. Cover. Okay, so vehicles does not receive anything in heavy cover. That makes... Or light cover. But in heavy cover, they receive 75%. So it's like you are in light cover as a vehicle. Okay, I get this. So, but the phrasing is so weird. Range damage received while in heavy cover reduced from 80% to 70. Okay. Dude. Sometimes English, a lot of you guys are talking about how I'm very, very good at English and stuff, but I'm shit at reading English, and I'm just as trash at writing at English. So, I might be good at speaking English, and even that is questionable, but sometimes I just misunderstand like complete normal stuff. Range damage received while in heavy cover reduced from 80% to 75. Why was that different from other whatever? It's not gonna do much though. It's not gonna do much. 5% lower, 5 percentage points lowered. I mean, that's fine. That's completely fine. I don't care too much about it. It's nothing crazy, but hey. Relic probably looked at that and was like, it's so weird that that's different. So, let's just change it. I approve. Alright, Defiler. Battle Cannon area of effect. Oh, yeah, so it's returned, and then Battle Cannon damage, morale, knockback is 4... Oh, sorry. Battle Cannon damage, morale damage, and knockback force decreased by 25%? What? I need to know right now. The Defiler changes in update 2.8 were too harsh. Okay, guys in the comment section, I need to know right now. Do you guys think this is a buff? Because I'm looking at this and being like, okay, area of effect. Yeah, I'm with it. I like this. And then you're like, okay, damage, morale damage across the board, like knockback force decreased by a quarter. We saw Basilisk to have the exact same variables lowered by 20%, and Basilisk needs help. I think this is too much. Now, if this was just only air damage, I can see it. But this is all damage. This is crazy. IG, not IG, Dark Eldar, like, I don't think Scourges are gonna die anymore. Like, I could be completely tripping. Relic has made mistakes with the patch, but I think they were cooking overall. So I hope they've tested this and seen that this is actually a buff for Defiler. But either that means that the area of effect was such an insane nerf, and this is not as much as I believe it is. But hey, it is what it is. I hope this is not a nerf to Defiler, because Defiler seems a tad too underwhelming. It's still a toxic unit, but it's a tad too underwhelming. But if this was just further nerf of air damage, then I think this is good. But it's not. It's across the board. Base regeneration rate increase from 4 to 6. Oh, so this is Demon Prince. Damn, it's hot, man. Mr. Landshark, how did you do this, man? Demon Prince, base regeneration rate increased from 4 to 6 HP per second. Okay, really good. Damage against vehicle high, relic vehicles, and a few heavily armored vehicles like Killakan, Baneblade, and Days of Destruction, and Demon High relic units other than vehicles and the Demon Prince. Yeah, so that's the Squaketh. That's the Creator Narlock, you know, those kind of units. Increased by 50%. This sounds really good, actually. This sounds very, very good. I like this. 50%. The Demon Prince doesn't deal that much damage to... I'm gonna check. Demon Prince, where are you at? It doesn't deal crazy damage, if I remember correctly. Demon Medium, I think there's one unit or something that has that. I don't remember what that unit is, but Demon High is okay. And vehicle high, okay, same number. So a 50% increase, what is that? That's like, I don't know, like, it'll be close to 170 or something. I think that's very reasonable. Demon Prince kind of low-key sucks, especially considering that you're also sacrificing your Chaos Lord to get him. So, yeah. I think this is very reasonable, actually. Very good buff so far. Demon Roar ability radius increased by... Damn. This might be... Oh, okay, good, good. So, Demon Roar ability cooldown increased by 40 seconds. That's really good. I think this is gonna make the ability more healthy. I don't know if this is a buff or nerf, but it's more healthy. I can probably guarantee that. Demonic Strength ability cooldown reduced from 200 seconds to 150. This ability is the same for the Chaos Lord that's also affected. Okay, wait a minute. So, Demon Strength, Demonic... This must be a misphrase. Yeah, they meant to say Demon Strength. So, Demon Strength is increasing... the Chaos Lord and the Demon Prince, their weapon damage by 50%. It's like the Berserk Fury of the aspiring champion with the whole squad of Chaos Marines. So this is very, very good. They lowered by 50 seconds. That's very good. 200 seconds is crazy. So I like this. Demon Prince got some very, very justified buffs. I think this is very good. I think Relic is on point here. Everything else is like, you know, I got questions, but this one is fire. This one is fire! Especially Demon Roar. That's fire. Sacrificial Circle, Symbol of Chaos Research, time reduced from... Oh yeah, that's the passive aura thing. Yeah, okay. By 10 seconds, okay. Demonic, well, that's fine. It's already very long, so I'm fine with that. And Demonic Strength Research. Demonic Strength. Why do they keep on calling it Demon Strength Research? Whatever. It's just a misphrase. It's definitely this one. It's definitely this one. What was that? From 80 to 50 seconds? It's a good buff, actually. I like this. I really, really like this. I want Sacrificial Circle to be stronger. I just hate horrors, but hey. It is what it is, man. Obliterators. Teleport time reduced from 5 seconds to 2.5. This is really good because Obliterators be like teleporting in. And they're just like in the battlefield, you know, teleporting in. And they'll be like this. Everyone else is dying around them. There's bloodbath everywhere. And they're just like... For years. Thank you, Relic, for changing this. This was absurd. It might look cool, like in a movie. You know? Like, it looks cool. I hope they change this with the Terminators as well, by the way. But it's not cool in a competitive game. So I love that they changed this by 50%. That's real good. Alright, Chaos Engines. That's the tier 4, right? I'm gonna check these things because I don't want to be an idiot. Machine Pit. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Chaos Engine. So this is the tier 4. Now gives plus 100 or 1,500 health to Demon Prince. Oh! Yo! Demon Prince be cooking, dude. What? Wait, what is Demon Prince's Wait, he's already... Demon Prince is gonna fuck shit up. I love it, though. This is fire, dude. Nah, I think Demon Prince has some really nice buffs, dude. This might be a little crazy, but hey, I'm here for it, bro. Nice buff, dude. Chaos Predator health bonus from 1,000 to 1,300. I think that's fair. I don't think it's gonna make Chaos Predator crazy. What's the Chaos Predator's HP? The Chaos Predator is 4,000. That's fine. It's completely fine, actually. I'm Gucci with this. I like this. Possessed Space Marines Reinforced cost is lowered by 5 requisition and 5 power, actually. Okay. Squad cost reduced by 20. So it's a cord. Yeah. So they're just aligning here. And then demonic fire morale DPS is decreased from 30 to 20. Okay. Possessed squad is a little bit underwhelming. I think this might actually be a very good way to go for. I think this is a respectable one. I like it. Yeah, I think I like it. It's just a fire morale that is stupid, dude. I'm very happy they decreased that for sure. 30 morale damage per second? That's crazy, dude. Yeah. Relic be cooking with this one. And then Chaos Predator, base damage of starting weapons, autocannon, and heavy bolters increased by 10%. Okay. So they increased the auto and the battle cannon, or the heavy bolters or whatever. They increased that by the range by 5, and now they're increasing its damage as well, and the autocannon. Yeah, Chaos Predator is gonna be pretty good now, I think. It needed a little bit of help anyway, so I'm fine with that. Okay. The Chaos Marines needs help. Relic, please just do a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think they need more help here and there. I don't want to overly buff Chaos, but they need more help. But I think it's more external things, like certain matchups are just really brutal for them. So maybe they don't need internal help as a race. But this just, on paper, just seems very... Like, the Defiler, I hope this is not a nerf. That would be awful for Chaos. But let's just give benefit of the doubt for Relic, because so far, overall, in the grand scheme of things, these guys has been cooking. I'm just like... I don't know, you know, but let's just give the benefit of the doubt that this is a slight buff, right? And then Chaos Vehicle Adjustment, whatever, Threshold, you know, Demon Prince be cooking, dude. This guy is he's gonna do stuff. Some pacing help here with the Sacrificial Circle, Obliterators being more, you know, more mobile. You know, Chaos Engines looking really good because Chaos has a questionable tier 4. Possessed Marines got buffed in a respectable way. And, you know, like, Chaos Predators are getting more damage. You know what? Overall, I like the changes. I think we need more, but overall, respect, Relic. I like this. That Chaos needs more. Chaos needs more, though. Okay, Dark Eldar. Jeez, man. I need to drink. Big breather. Woo-saw. Relic? Don't fuck this one up. Please, nerf. Please. Okay, let's go. Dark Eldar have been very strong since last patch. Dark Eldar has not been very strong. Dark Eldar has been bonkers. Have been very strong since the last update and are receiving several adjustments to their early game as a result. Thank God. We've also added 2 new tier 3 research items to allow for some scaling of infantry damage and health in the latter stages of the game. Interesting. Very interesting. As a concept, I like it. Let's see how it works in practice, though. Reaver Jet Bike. 10% damage decrease for all weapons. This includes the targeting module, I think. Yeah, that's why. And then armor piercing against commanders increased by 25 for all weapons. I don't know about 25%, but I can see it. I think Commanders is a little bit too strong against Reaver Jet Bikes, and especially if it gets 10% for all weapons. lowered. I don't know if it ties into the whatever. This is good though. Overall, I like this. I don't know, like, okay, we can talk about it later though. Damage against infantry low builders, except for tech priest, further decreased by 20%. Okay, for all weapons. Ooh, oh, I like that. Where I need to see. Relic. Where is the Reaver targeting module nerf? Where is it? Are you serious? Reaver targeting module. Okay. We need to talk. Where is that? Reaver jet bike. Upgrade the Reaver jet bike's splinter cannon to a splinter cannon with targeting module. Okay, it's this one. It almost, pretty much at least, doubles the damage. And depending on the piercing value, it more than doubles the damage of a jet bike. Relic, you need to nerf this. Now, I'm not looking for damage nerfs. I'm looking for cost nerf. What is this? What is this? In fact, let's do can we do this? Damn. I don't got painting skills. Oh, this is high level content, guys. What is that? 25 power cost for such an insane upgrade? That is insane. It's crazy. It like with orcs and stuff that got very justified power cost nerfs, right? You increase those bad boys by, you know, you doubled the power cost. Now, granted, the power cost was low, but for this in tier 2, Dark Eldar just gets this. Like, 25 power, guys. If you are plus 30, which is not a lot, by the way, if you're plus 30 in power income, you get it in less than 10 seconds. That's how bonkers this, like, why is this so cheap, brother? What is this, dude? This should be increased to 50 or something. At least something, dude. Like, we can't have this low cost for such an insane upgrade. In fact, like, this right here, this is the least, like, the last thing I would go at. This is very good, but this is the last thing I would go at. I would focus on cost. I would focus on vehicle low damage. Well, granted, they might do that, actually. For a lot of basic units. For example, the Chaos Marines could get vehicle low damage increase. Just a little bit. Just, we're not talking crazy stuff, just something to, like, deal with the Reaver jet bikes. It's like several things that makes Reaver jet bikes OP. A lot of races don't have good damage against vehicle low. And they're cheap, they're fast to get, and their Reaver targeting module is bonkers, and they have good damage. It's like, the last thing I would look at is actually the damage. I like that it deals damage, but it shouldn't be so cheap, it shouldn't be so fast, all of those things. This is the last variable I would look at. I would look at something more external stuff, like how cheap stuff is. You know, like, I would have done that, but you know what? I'll take this all day long. At least Relic is like, you know what, brother? You know what? Reaver jet bikes needs more nerfs. So I like this. And especially the builder one, that's very, very impactful. Reaver jet bikes just gets in your base and kills all your builders. I love this. Yes! Oh, this is so good. Okay, Warrior Squad. Health decrease from 300 to 275. I'm not gonna punch the table. This is so good. Oh my god, this is good. So, I don't want to get into this more. Warriors are bonkers. Warriors are so OP. Like, this is so good. Warriors getting below, like, I've already talked about Warriors. Please, dude. Like, this is so good. I think Warriors are balanced now. So this is really good. So far, they're cooking, you know, so far they're cooking. Overall. Hellion Squad, damage against infantry low as well. Decreased by 30% on all weapons for both Hellions and their squad leader. On all weapons, so this is also the ranged one, right? Damage decreased by 10% on all ranged weapons for both Hellions. And wow, okay, so builders are gonna like... Ooh, is this too hard of a nerf for the Dark Foundry opening? Not being able to kill builders is like pretty crucial. I mean, they'll still be able to, but like across the board, like all their units just deals less damage to builders. This is great. It's very great, actually. Like, this might actually help, like, Tau, Space Marines. I could just keep on going. This is real good. Maybe they went a little too hard when it came to the infantry low, but we'll see. Animus Vitae, refresh time. This effect is how often the lifesteal damage triggers. Okay. Refresh time increase one. Okay, this is good. So this just means that it'll take longer to get the full heal. I like that. That's real good. It got increased by 50%. So that's good. Yeah, I like that. That's a fair one. I don't want Animus Vitae to be overly nerfed because otherwise the Archon is gonna be useless. So this is really important. But it's a fair nerf. Crucible Malediction. Oh, 6 to 5 seconds. Cooldown increased by 30 seconds. Crucible Malediction will still be bonkers as hell, but this makes it less like this makes it go from completely what the hell am I watching, maybe in contention for the most OP ability, at least for a tier 2. It might be the most bonkers of all the abilities. This one is crazy. I'm very happy with this nerf. Good Archon nerfs, and justified ones as well. And Incubus reinforce rate is also... Damn, was it really 10 seconds? Wow. Alright, this is very fair. Archon got some real nerfs, by the way. Damn, Dark Elder, I'm very justified. Overall, I'm very justified. I'm very satisfied. There you go. Which... I just saw this word and was like, yes! Witch Squad, ranged damage decreased by 20%. This is what so many people has been looking for. Fire. This is really good. Witch Succubus, range damage decreased by 20%. So this is also the leader. Combat Drog ability duration decreased from 15 to 12. I mean... I think this might even still be too long, but you know what? I'll take this all day long. 15 seconds is crazy. Really heavy nerfs, dude. No buffs, by the way. Not a single one so far. This is amazing. War Beast pack. Beastmaster Tame War Beast ability cooldown decreased by 60 seconds. That's a lot. I think that's fair, though, because... There are races like Chaplain, for example, can just drop their morale and this unit is low-key useless. And if Tame Warp Beast was already used, then it can be real tough. So I think this is fair. It's very long cooldown. And then damage against building low. Generators and listening posts is decreased by 30%. Okay. That's a lot, actually, but... To me, the Warp Beast, what really is annoying about the Warp Beast is like this like insane combination of combat drugs from witches, fully reinforced 2 squads of Warp Beast, and corrosion ability on an HQ, find that HQ, delete that HQ, and it's like...
Is this for real? Is this for real? Is this for real? How does he kill like 2 squads in like 4 seconds?
So I would like, you know, building high to at least be decreased just a little bit. Because I just dislike that part about Warp Beast. I don't mind other nerfs to, or other buffs to Warp Beast, but that part of it is toxic in my opinion. But this is a very good starting point though, so I like this. Ravager, Horrifex bomb ability area of effect decreased from 10 to 6. This is really, really nicely done. Horrifex bomb ability duration decreased. Yeah, this is good nerfs to the Ravager. Very justified ones. And now I'm very excited to look at this. So, improved Wraithbone battlesuit. Oh, it's a new upgrade. So this is basically what they did with Sisters. Okay, that's really good. Requirements: tier 3, Wraithbone woven battlesuit, same slot. Okay, yeah. So it cost 100 to 50. That sounds reasonable. 30 seconds research time. Scourge's health. Oh my god, Scourge. Scourge is gonna be very, very powerful now, guys. Like, 75 HP. They already got 75 HP from the first one. Witch's health increased by 150. Damn. That's a lot, actually. Whoa. And then Warrior's health increased by 75. The Warrior's one, I think, is good. I think that's very fair, actually. And the Witch's health increased by 150. Maybe a little too much, but honestly, I'd take it. You know what? I like the concept of this. I think their infantry scales a little bit too bad. So I think this is completely fine. Improved Soulseeker ammunition. Again, requires tier 3, 150, 40 seconds research time. Scourge squad splinter cannon damage increased by 25. Damn, Scourges. I must admit, I'm worried about Scourges now. Like, Scourges are gonna get so powerful. I think this is too much. I like it. By the way, I don't want to discredit Relic. I like a lot of the concept here. I just don't know if it's too much, you know? Warrior squad splinter rifle damage increased by 25%. This includes the splinter rifle on the raider when the warriors are embarked on it. Okay. This is justified. I think Scourge splinter cannon is a little bit too much. They're already dealing pretty good damage at this point. And then Witch's range damage is increased by 25, but it was decreased by 20. You know what? That's fine. This is completely fine. You know what? Overall, I F with this. I'm just afraid of the Scourges being too strong, but then again, we are in tier 3, so maybe they aren't. And Dark Eldar needs late game buffs. So, yeah, overall, you know what? I'll give this an 8 out of 10 with Dark Eldar. I think this is very, very good nerfs. And the only buffs that actually was here was the Beastmaster cooldown, Tame Warp Beast, and then this right here, which is real good. You know what? I'll give Relic credit. This is a 8.5 out of 10. This is real good. Respect, Relic. You cooked in this one. Eldar, okay. We're continuing to adjust the early game of Eldar with some small nerfs to Rangers and Dark Reapers. We also adjusted other stages of the game, most notably the Falcon can no longer make 2 jumps at full charge, and the Avatar now gives less of a bonus to vehicle population. Dark Reapers and their Exarchs now get the same bonus from optics. research. Oh my god, I need to see what that is. In Soul Shrine to prevent Ixaros from becoming too weak in the late game. This is also a very slight adjustment to the damage output of the full squad of Dark Reapers with the Xarak. Okay. Damn, I'm very excited to see what that is. Okay, full-scale war research. Oh, yeah. This is the global. So now requires Mobilize of War. Mobilize War is tier 3 for Eldar instead of Support Pole. Kudos. And same with, I assume, the Plasma. Yeah. So the green global and the blue global is now requiring tier 3. Kudos. Big. Massive nerf, actually. Soul Shrine, Call of War, research time decreased by 15 seconds. War Gear, Reinforced Armor, and War Gear Enhanced Reinforced Armor now give the same mass increase to Banshee Xarak as it does on regular Banshees. This doesn't make... this doesn't change anything. Like, Banshees are not going to be viable, guys, unless you just make them completely bonkers. It's the same I've said with Corn Berserkers, but I like it. You know what? I like it. If I sound a little negative here and there, guys, it's literally because I'm dying and my fan is not working! Okay. I fixed my fan. Let's go. Improved optics research. Oh, damn. I need to go up here. Soul Shrine. Listening Shrine. War Shrine add-on LP2. Damage increased by 10. Why? I mean, Listening Shrine... I mean, the numbers are kind of low, to be honest. I need to also be careful because there's something about this wiki that's... Anubis has made a wiki that I can't find right now. Shout out to Anubis. I might link that in the description. I just don't get this because... I don't think the only counter argument that Relic might do to me is like, this is needed against Dark Eldar. Problem is, you also nerf ASM from Space Marines by doing this. You nerf a lot of things that I think this is not necessary, but 10% is not crazy at least. This fucking fan, dude. All right, let's go. So. Improved optics research. Dark Reaper launcher damage bonus reduced from... This is what I... Relic, are you listening? I think you are. This was so BS. I can't believe that this was not nerfed in the first patch. Like, they looked at other optics and nerfed them. I don't know why they did not nerf this one. This is the most, like, in-your-face, easy to just lower instantly. Dark Reaper Xarak Reaper launcher damage bonus is increased from 25 to... I don't know. I mean, their explanation is something along the lines of the Xarak will just get outscaled by the Dark Reaper squad in the long term, so... I don't know, this is fine. Just overall... nerfing this is just, in my opinion, good. And then Dark Reaper Squad, Reaper Launcher damage bonus reduced from 50% to 40%. Yeah, so this is the tier 3 one as well. Okay. You know what? I like this. Kudos, Relic. It makes me a little confused with the Xarak one, but you know what? I'll take this any day. Dark Reapers to me is not OP in the tier 1. Well, they're strong in tier 1, but they have to be. Otherwise, like, Eldar will get absolutely crushed by so many races. But it's the tier 2 power spike that's crazy to me. You can just mass Dark Reapers, and some races cannot stop the mass. This is really, really, really needed. Rangers. Build time increased. Yes. Yes! Relic is cooking, dude. Yes! Okay, so the reason why I said this is there's something with the invisibility. No, they kept that. Okay. That's fire. Okay, so the build time increased by 10 seconds. Long rifle damage against... Holy. So the long rifle damage against infantry medium is lowered by... Right? Yeah, it's decreased by 10%. If they increase that, jeez. This is so good, dude. What the hell? Especially the build time. The build time is very much needed, especially for SM on the very tight maps like Blood River, Shrine of Excellion, where Assault Marines is questionable. So when you do early harass against Eldar, and the build time for Rangers in terms of how impactful they are, being that low is crazy. And sometimes Rangers doesn't even care. They don't even have to go infiltration. So to me, this is really good. Yeah, I really think this is super, super good. Because I've been very vocal about this, so I don't know. Relic is probably listening to me. That's really good. Wrong. Guys, I say pretty good. I'm sorry. I try and stop saying that, okay? My bad, guys. The heat is killing me, dude. Long rifle, tier 2, range increase from 35 to... Oh, so... The weapon rangers get after improve. Okay. So they gave a pretty good buff for them in tier 2. To be honest, I actually respect that. Rangers in tier 2 is kind of questionable. So I think this is very, very fair. Yeah, this is good. I think this will help against Tau especially. This is very on point. So far, I don't know, the listing shrine, the Exarch thing makes me a little confused and stuff. But so far, they're cooking with Eldar, to be honest. I really think this is good. Dark Reaper, oh damn, I said it again! Dark Reaper squad, health reduced from 450 to... Okay. This is a pretty big nerf, actually. It's not gonna make or break Dark Reapers, I think. I've been skeptical of Dark Reaper tier 1 nerfs, but you know what? I'll take this any day because Dark Reaper's tier 1 is very powerful against a lot of races. I just don't know if this is good for, you know, for example, the Dark Eldar matchup. But I'll take this any day. To be honest, this Eldar, they're very on point today with this. And then Falcon Grey, this is so huge. Let me just see in practice, though. Cost of recharging a jump increased from 45 to 60 seconds. Yeah, so the cost... Maximum charge is still 60. Yeah, so it's 1.5 jumps when fully charged instead of 2. This might actually be the biggest nerf of Eldar, and I'm not even trolling. Like... There's so many maps, I can just keep on going, like Titan's Fall, Battle Marshes, whatever, like even Outer Reaches, you know, a lot of like jumping maps, even Emerald River. This, get in there, destroy a generator and an LP, maybe even more. Oh, is there someone coming? Get in there, jump out again. What? That's messed up. That's messed up. This is good. This is amazing. This is such a huge nerf, I think, at least. It's still gonna be a fast vehicle and stuff, but at least it's not jumping away. Super important. It's gonna make Eldar at least think twice about jumping in. It's still gonna be very powerful, but at least there's some sort of punish you can do to it now. Avatar vehicle cap max decreased from 10 to 5. I think this is a big nerf in team games, actually. But this number is crazy anyway. I don't care too much about it because you almost never see Avatar in a 1v1, but I think this is good for team games, and also this number is crazy, dude. What the hell am I watching? Brightlands platform. Oh, this is the tier 3. Yeah, so that like turret that you get out of the webway gate, damage increase effect on target decreased from 75 to 50. 75 is so insane. 50% is still crazy, dude. It should be 25 or something. I don't know, 35, 40, but 75 is insane. So thank you for this, Relic. Thank you. Shuriken platform, that's the infantry thing, right? The anti-infantry version of Brightlands platform, yeah. Max speed effect multiplier on target change from 75 to 80, okay. Build time decreased by 20 seconds. I don't think this is gonna make the Shuriken platform OP or strong. I don't think it's gonna be much viable because the Brightlands platform is so OP. But I like this, to be honest. I think this is fair. Buffs to Shuriken platform is fair, I guess. Wraith Lord, damage against buildings and vehicle air decreased by 20%. Oh. It's gonna be good in a lot of matchups. Tempest might actually be viable now against Eldar, but they still have Nightwing, so I don't know. Hell Talons, this is gonna help a lot in the Chaos matchup as well. This is good. I would like to see it a little bit for the vehicles as well, but I understand this is fine to me. This is completely fine to me. Yeah, good nerf. Seer Council infantry population cost increased from 2 to 3. I did not know the Seer Council infantry population cost was 2. Relic, who designed the game when they were like, yo, I think the Seer Council should only cost 2. Ah, hell no. Nice nerve. Eldar, you know what? They be cooking. Dark Eldar, they be cooking. And then Chaos, okay, good changes-ish. So far, really good patch, actually. Oh, Guardsman. Oh, Imperial Guard, let's get it. For the Imperial Guard, we fixed a bug which was introduced in 2.8, where some numbers in the Guardsman grenade launches and the weapon specialization research were wrong. Guardsmen, Ogryn, and Kasrkins have all received buffs to some weapons to compensate for the reduced bonus from Priest. They're cooking. Guardsmen are also getting some knockback force back on their grenade launchers to make them a bit more likely to knock down certain units. As long as it's a bit, I respect it. We're making the Hellhound and Marauder a bit more accessible, good. And giving back some strength to the Basilisk. They chefin'. They cooking. Uncommon Valor now been split into 2 research items, okay? To allow the command squad to be expanded in increments instead of single expansive upgrade, adding 2 members at once. Okay. Guardsman, grenade launcher knockback increased by... Oh, so it's only the top value that's increased by 5. That's very reasonable, to be honest. I think the knockback was a little bit too overnerfed, so I'm fine with this. I'm very fine with it, actually. And then the plasma gun in... 15%. The plasma gun... I would have liked to see... I don't know. The priest nerfs was maybe a bit too harsh in terms of the plasma gun. To be honest, I think this is fine. I think this is very fine, actually. It's respectable. I just don't know. 15% though? You know what? No, I'll take it back. They need this against Necrons. I'll take it back. This is fine. No, that's completely fine. In fact, it's good. I would have liked to see some cost changes. But this is completely fine. I respect it. And then health regeneration increased from... Yeah, so this is the heavy weapons. Health regeneration increased from 1 hit point per second to 2 hit points per second. Health increased from 650 to 750. This is justified buffs. The heavy weapons team needed some help, but I think it's in a very good spot. It's going to be a little tough to go in and kill the heavy weapons team, because it's probably behind a lot of other fortification that's going to shoot you and kill you. So this nerf might actually be very harsh, or this buff might be very huge. But I think it's justified. The heavy weapons team needs a little bit of help. Not too much. I think it's very much like they're going borderline to it being problematic. But I think they just struck the right balance. Hellhound acceleration time is decreased by... acceleration time. Yo, I'll be real. The Hellhound to me is not bad because of acceleration time. I mean, 2 seconds is crazy, to be honest. So I'm fine with... It's a little wonky. I think they could lower this even more, to be honest. It's just... I think Hellhound needs a little bit more damage, but... I think what's very important is actually the depot that cost a lot. It's down here. Okay. Oh, they have that? Okay. I'll take that back. That's cool. The Hellhound changes... The Hellhound changes is good. This is very, very good. I don't know if it's enough. I keep saying that. I don't know if it's enough, but this is a huge buff to Hellhound. Because 150 is crazy cost. It's very, very important buff to Hellhound. And then Basilisk increased by 10%. Now, is this 10%? By the way, kudos. Nice buff. Is this 10%? Because they nerfed it by 20, right? Is this reverting that halfway? Or are they taking this new damage value and increasing that by 10%? I think I'm just gonna, as they're writing it, I'm gonna take that as a 10% increase. But in theory, I'm not sure, right? Knockback force increase by... Okay, so bottom is 2 and then 6 in the top. This is completely fine to me. Basilisk was over-nerfed. I think this is completely fine. Basilisk needed some buffs. Imperial Guard are getting some very, very nice and very, very needed buffs. And then Marauder Depot is decreased as well in cost from by 50 power. Marauder is questionable anyway, so I think this is fair. It depends on what they're doing with the vehicle, though. Vehicle population cost decreased by... Whoa, that's a buff, dude. From 4 to 3, and then bombing run. Crack bombs ability against buildings decreased by... That's the... Yeah, that's the flying over and bombing kind of... you know, World War II style ability. Yeah, that, by the way, that ability is kind of crazy, to be honest, so I'm fine with that. And then build time decreased from 88, damn. 38 seconds to 30 seconds. This is completely fair. So they're nerfing the Marauder Bomber, but they are making it radically more accessible. I'll take this any day long. Marauder Bomber is... No, it's not borderline useless. It's actually useless. Completely fine. Good changes. Ogren. All weapons increased by 15%. Kazakin's the same. Okay. Perfect. Because Ogrins and Kazakin was never meant to be nerfed, in my opinion. It was just the grenade launchers. This is completely fair. And then Uncommon Valor, let's see what they're doing. Cost reduced, literally halved, and same with research time. Additional command squad members is also halved. Increase command squad members reduced. Health increase is also halved. And it's the exact... No, it's... Oh, yeah, it's the exact same numbers. So they literally took Uncommon Valor and split it in half. So this means that tier 1.5 IG might actually be strong at this point. Or stronger. But it's still not good. I don't think this Uncommon Valor is going to be useful because... before later stages of the game. Because I think it'll be more smooth in tier 2 when you don't want to use 100 cost. So in that, I think it's a tier 2 buff and not pre-tier 2 buff. I don't think you're gonna get it because 50 power is too much for IG. They have very expensive power costs. I don't think you want to get this pre-tier 2. So this is completely... I don't think this is gonna be in tier 1.5, but it's gonna make tier 2 less tacky. 100 and 100 cost is crazy, so I think this is a good change, but it's not gonna help with getting it earlier. I don't think so, at least. Guardsman Squad Grenade Launchers. The Dark Crusade version of Guardsman Squad Grenade Launchers, as well as weapon specialization research, were mistakenly used as a base for changes in 2.8. What? No, dude. What? This has been fixed. Affected values. Grenade launchers max range is 45 instead of... was 45 instead of 40. And their build time was 20 instead of 14. Cassicans gain 2 times for plasma damage for grenade launchers from weapon specialization instead. Bruh. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm happy Relic was catching this, especially the range, by the way. The range is very important nerf. This is very good nerf, actually. Yeah, it should never... I was wondering, damn, is the range not increased? Or am I... So I did actually catch it, but I didn't really think of it, so that's good. So IG is still gonna struggle in some matchups. I think the Falcon change for Eldar is gonna help IG a lot. I think they can compete very well against Dark Eldar now. And I think Chaos is still favored towards IG, but not by much, actually. I don't know. It depends on the Defiler nerf, I think. Yeah, and it depends on what they're doing with Tau, but Imperial Guard got some healthy changes. Kudos, Relic. So far, this patch is really good. It might actually be better than the first one, but we'll see. Oh, Necrons. I've heard some rumors about Necrons, so let's get it. Necron Warriors. Matter of fact, I need a break, guys. I'm dying here. 2 seconds, guys. Okay, I had to open the door just a tad and stuff. Let's get into it. So, I've heard some rumors about Necrons. Very, very huge changes. Let's get into it. Last patch, they did not touch Necrons enough, so let's get it. Necron Warriors have been given a 3rd upgrade, which is available in Tier 3. Necron Warriors are now slightly weaker in the earlier stages of the game, but end up being stronger in the late game, where Necrons currently lack scaling of their units. Attack Scarabs are now cheaper and have lost some of their damage in return for more health and other changes. They should now be better at performing their niche role as anti-air units. Other notable changes include the cost increase of Flayed Ones to make them less spammable, and Toon Spiders now cost 5 corpses instead of 4 to summon a squad of Necron Warriors. This makes it harder to circumvent their scaling build time cost and fill out the infantry cap with just Necron Warriors. Oh my god, let's get into it. Necron Warriors. Ghost Flare damage against building low is decreased by 10%. Listening posts and generators, turrets, and minefields. Wow, this is actually a real nerf to Necron Warriors. The Disruption Field, the first one. Necron Warriors Ghost Flare damage increase reduced from 30 to by 7 percentage points. But the cost has been reduced by 25 power. Research time is also lower by 10 seconds. In isolation, I really think this is a good way to go about Necrons. But I am starting to get worried if other races, especially the SM matchup, is the one that really comes to mind now. But this nerf is very justified in the grand scheme of things because tier 1.5 is so bonkers against certain races. I think this will nerf them in the Eldar matchup as well. This will nerf them against IG a lot. So this is good in isolation. Let's see. Okay, so they also touched the 2.5 and the superior disruption field as well. So let's see. Necron Warriors, Ghost Flare, damage increase reduced from 35. Wow, they also nerfed that one. And then Necron Warrior bonus health decrease from 290 to 170. What? Wow, so the overall HP decrease here is... Wow, that's much lower, dude. That's 120 HP per Necron Warrior. And they're also nerfing the Tomb Spider corpse cost. Necron Warrior Gauss Flare range increase reduced from 4 to 3. Range after upgrade is 20 instead of 21. You know what? The numbers in terms of damage and range, I'm okay with that. I don't know about the HP, though. I don't know about the HP. This seems... I mean, Necron's 2.5 is OP against certain matchups, and it's really brutal. Even SM is struggling against Necrons in tier 2.5 if they stay 2.5 themselves. Problem is, SM has a lot of tools to deal with it, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into that matchup. But even like most other races, even the ones that deals very well with Necrons will suffer in 2.5. But that is taken away at this point. 120 HP per model. I think that's too hard of a nerf. And they didn't even lower the cost, so this is too much. I think this nerf specifically, everything else, I'm with it. It depends on what they're doing with this, obviously, but... yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Superior disruption field. Enhanced disruption field. Engaged monolith. So this is tier 3. Energy cost is 225. So that's basically compensation for this. And then research time is 80. Ghost Flare damage increased by 25%. Yeah, so the damage is going to be way higher in tier 3, and then Necron Warrior's health increased. So it's increased by 55 HP overall. Very, very good. And then Necron Warrior Ghost Flare range is increased by 3. So the max range is increased by 2. The HP is increased by 55. The damage is, they're not saying it, but can I do the math here? So that's 7, wow, 12%. So that's increased by 13%, the damage in of itself. You know what? I like the concept. I really, 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 really like the concept. I just think the mid game is too much nerfed for Necrons. I really, really do think that. I think this is too much. Now, granted, Necrons needs this. They very much needs a tier 3 because Necrons, if they get into the later stages of the game on bigger maps, they're usually just not having a good time. So Necrons are getting a lot of help in terms of their scaling, which is very fair. And guys, Relic agrees with me Necrons is not a strong scaling race, huh? Hey, Dusty Minister, sometimes you need to listen to this guy, huh? Superior Disruption Field, kudos. I don't like that this is too much nerf. This is way too much, especially if we take the Toon Spider thing, which they already explained about. We'll talk about that later, though. Flayed Ones, squad cost increased from 125 or 20 to 130 power. Reinforced cost is also increased by 5 power. Whoa, that's some Flayed Ones changes, huh? They're nerfing tier 1.5 and 2.5 significantly. This means that they have to get faster tier 2 at this point, I think. Range damage against vehicle low. What's that? That's the Immortals. Oh, that's nice. It's decreased by 15%. That's going to help IG's Chimeras. It's going to help Land Speeders. It's going to help IG's Sentinels. So especially IG is happy about this. I've talked several times about Immortals just one-shotting Devilfishes from Tau. So this is good. I am completely aligned with this. I'm completely aligned with this. So Immortals, good nerf. Immortals are low-key just one-shotting vehicle low. So this is a very justified nerf. I don't think they should go harder than this. I'm pretty sure this is completely fine. I'm even more worried that this might be too much, but I don't think so. Pariah's reinforced time decreased from 20 to 18. I think this is a good change. Infantry cap cost is decreased by 4, from 4 to 3. I even think you can increase the movement speed on the Pariahs. The Pariahs is very much a anti-building, split-pushing unit that's super tanky and very hard to deal with. But in the grand scheme of things, Pariahs are kind of underwhelming. Damn, they're getting some tier 3 buffs. 18 seconds is low for a Necron unit reinforced time because they have the obelisks that increase time bonus. This is not... I don't think this is in the territory of too low, but just consider that this can be very, very, very powerful on big maps if you have a good chunk of obelisks. Yeah, good buff though. I really think... Oh, Tomb Spider, let's get it. Corpses consumed to spawn Necron warriors is increased by... This is a huge nerf, dude. And then spawn attack scarab's ability has the following changes. Health cost for the Toon Spider decreased by 5 percentage points. Cost decreased from 125 to 75 power. Cooldown increased from 10 to 45. Oh, was it really that low? Damn. This nerf is too harsh. I don't know. This nerf is good, but when you pair it up with this nerf, damn. I think this... Oh, I'm worried for Necrons. I must admit, I am very worried for Necrons. The tier 3 upgrades might be too strong, so you could lower that a little bit, but then compensate with the tier 2.5. I like that they're nerfing their tier 1.5 because it's completely obnoxious and it's really OP in very few but very important scenarios. And especially IG is in my mind as I say that. But, bruh, like, this is too much, isn't it? Attack Scarabs. Reinforced cost is lowered by 5 power. Reinforced time is increased by 10. Wow, so by 7 seconds. Damn, that's a lot. Health increased by from 95 to 150. Very nice buff. Damage decreased by 40. Yeah, they deal a lot of good damage, actually. And then side radius is increased by 10. Oh, That's a lot. And the vehicle population cost is from 2 to 1. That's very important, considering that Necrons sometimes gets problems with vehicle population cap. So this is very important for attack scarabs. Yet I don't think this is enough. I think they're still too expensive for what they do. The side buff is really good. I think the Milish talked about that. Reinforced cost is whatever. I think it's fair. Reinforced time is probably increased a little bit too much, but to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't think this is enough for attack scarabs, but we need to be careful because they already got very good anti-air because of the Immortals, but Immortals are a little bit unreliable. And so attack scarabs is okay for me. They should be buffed overall, I think. Yeah, I think they need a little bit more help. I think the health increase is good. I think the sight radius is good. I don't know if the decrease of damage is a little bit too much. Yeah, and then the overall cost from the Toon Spider, really, really solid buff. Maybe it should be even lower, but I'm not sure about that. Overall, I am very worried for Necrons in one and only one matchup. And it's the SM matchup. SM right now is so good against Necrons. I know some other people actually think otherwise. My boy Montana, which I talk a lot with, who helped me with the World Championship, he actually thinks Necrons is completely fine against SM. It's only slightly favored to SM. I think it's the other way around. I think it's starting to be really tough for Necrons. Necrons got overall buffs, but so did Space Marines, but it wasn't Necron-specific stuff, but hidden stuff, like, for example, building low damage from the Assault Marines, which was very justified, is very good against the generators, especially when you pair it up with Melter Bombs. Necrons needs help. Necrons needs help in the SM matchup, and this just got worse for Necrons, especially in 2.5, dude. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm worried for Necrons. I like the direction. I just don't know if the execution is good. Orks. Okay, we need to talk. Orks needs help. Orks needs pacing. That 50 increase power cost for every boy armor, I think that was too much. I think Stormboys needs a little bit of a revert in terms of HP. Maybe they need to go back to 33, maybe not, 30%, I'm not sure. But then you increase the cost instead. The reinforced cost, mind you. It's already very low, it's 40, which is crazy considering this unit is very strong at massing and stuff. And they're super obnoxious to play against. So it depends. I think the Stormboys needs a little bit help, just a tad. But looks like they're not doing any of that. In fact, there's no changes. What is going on? Orks have struggled a bit in the early game. A bit. In the early game in some matchups. 2.8, however, after the update in 2.8. However, in this update, we are suggesting, or we are adjusting some of their tougher matchups and their late game. As such, we're holding off for more changes to Orcs early game for now. Fighter Bomber Grot Bomb is now less dangerous to face, and Slugger Boy squads are now slower to build after they become free due to the more Slugger research. They also have less health after their second health upgrade to make the Green Tide less hopeless to face in the late game. The Killer Can rocket launcher upgrade should now be more worthwhile, and the Squiggeth is now less sluggish while turning. Okay, Super Heavy Boy Armor Slugger Boys health bonus decreased from 33% to 25%. More Slugger, new Slugger Boy squad build time is increased by 9 seconds after this research. I mean, it's not a problem if you got 3 the boys heart and 2 settlements. This is completely fine. I think this is more for team games, though. I guess this is completely fine. It is obnoxious when they just get Slugger Boys for days. I just don't know. This might be too much, but it might also be completely fine. Rotation speed increased from 30 to 50. This is the squiggeth. This is completely fine. It's way too slow when rotating. Greater Narlock has the same problem. This is a very, very healthy buff. However, we need to talk. Can we stop having the squiggeth being able to be repaired? I know some people might say, but it's okay for balance. Why? Bruh, it makes no sense. This is a organic unit, okay? This isn't Baneblade. This is not, Land Raider. This is a demon. Why? Just give it more health regen if you think it needs. Why are we having repair? It makes no sense. Remove that, please. Rotation speed, good. Kilocan, rocket launcher accuracy increase. They increased the accuracy, okay. Increased by from 60 to 75. That's a lot, dude. A 25% increase in damage per second. Rocket launcher cost decreased from 120 to 60 to 80 to 60. I think this is complete fair. This sounds like a huge buff, though, but I'm completely fine with it. Rocket launcher is kind of questionable for the Kilocan, but yet again, I think it's good that Kilocan is getting this kind of buff. It's kind of a hidden thing that they need. So this is completely fine. Kilocan is not as strong as the Dreadnought in terms of, like, some numbers, especially the HP, but it does have vehicle high armor, so that's very, very important that Kilocan doesn't get completely OP, but I think this is healthy. I just worry when you increase accuracy, it's kind of hard to tell how OP it will be, but it is what it is. Fighter bomber or grot bomb damage, morale damage, and knockback force is decreased by 20%. Health decreased by 400. You know what? I take this all day long. Fighter bomber is bonkers. It is so OP. It is by a freaking mile the strongest artillery unit, and yeah, I am very happy. I can't believe this is almost 3,000 HP, guys. Good nerf. I think the Dark Eldar nerfs will be good for Orks. Chaos didn't get some crazy buffs and stuff, so I think overall Orks is in a better spot because of external nerfs, or external buffs, I should say. So for me, this is completely fine. I think Orks needs a little bit more help, though. We'll see for the next patch. Yeah. Sisters of Battle, this one, please. Oh my god, Relic, please, please, please. Please fix this. I'm dying here, guys. Sisters of Battle have also had a stronger early game than intended after the last patch. They're very diplomatic in the way they write. It is the most bonkers shit I've ever seen in my life, honestly. And, I'm the most privileged one because I play Space Marines mainly. And I think there's 3 matchups that's almost unplayable. Chaos, Orks, and IG. If they queue up against a battle, Sisters of Battle player, you might as well just leave the game, to be honest. It's so brutal. The Sisters of Battle have also had a stronger early game than intended after the last patch. We're making multiple changes to address this while also fixing some underlying bugs and other issues with the faction. I'm curious. Battle Sisters are facing some larger changes. We've increased their starting squad size by 1 and raised their cost accordingly. Their build time and reinforced time has been increased to slow down the timings of massing them. The damage from Phosphor Grenade has also been reduced, especially against lighter infantry like Guardsmen. This sounds very good. We've also reduced the early game faith income to limit how often missionaries and canonists can use their abilities in the early game. The canonist has also seen some changes to her Act of Faith ability. Purifying Light has lower duration, while Ascension has been improved to make the Avenging Angel more worthwhile. Finally, the Infernal Turrets and the weapons of the Listening Post now have an area of effect which matches the visual of the flames. In return, they are losing a large part of their damage and morale damage to compensate. Does that mean they're increasing the area of effect? It must be. Okay. Ecclesiarchal chapter. Oh my god! Now I'm getting reminded that I just really have a struggle for names of sisters. So Ecclesiarchal. So this is the HQ. They reduced the faith income by 25%. Really good. Infernal Turret. Twin-linked Infernal Cannon's area of effect increased from 3.5 to 5. That's a big buff, to be honest. Twin-linked Infernal Cannons damage reduced by 50%. Again, except against commanders. Yeah, because they are alone. So that would be a crazy nerf if that was the case. And vehicle low. Slightly armored vehicles like Sentinels. Land Speeders and Reaver jet bikes. This is especially with the Reaver jet bikes to avoid that becomes OP against sisters. Morale damage is decreased by 30%. Okay. I have no idea how this is going. Did they do the same with the Listening Post? Following changes apply both to the Infernal Cannon and the upgraded Infernal Cannon. Area of effect. Yeah, this is the same numbers. I must admit, I have zero idea how OP or how terrible or trash, if this is going to be good or bad. But obviously, logic applies, right? Smaller amounts of units are going to have a better time. Bigger amounts of units will have a less good time. Good. Overall, I'm fine with this. Shrine of the Living Saint. Health increase by... Yeah, that's right. Why does this have such low HP? Shrine of the Living Saint, double HP. That's completely fine. Because honestly, dude, getting the Avenging Angels and then have like 2 Assault Marines just jumping in, just one-shotting the building, that feels bad, dude. This is good. I love it. That's perfect, to be honest. Manufacturing. Conflagration research time decreased from 45 to 30 seconds. Conflagration cost decreased from 175 to 75.50. Which one is that? Pristine Sanctuary, let's get it. No, manufacturing. Oh, dude, man, I'm dying here. Oh. It's the Immolator one, right? Enables the Immolator. Okay. You know what? That's completely fine. I don't care. This upgrade isn't crazy, and I'm completely fine with them reducing this. This is completely fine with me. I'm with it. Sister, it's the rotation thing. It's the rotation thing. I'm fine with that. Sisters Repentia. Righteous Fervor health degeneration effect decreased from 8 per second to 5 per second. Sisters Repentia is not going to be useful after this, but to be honest, they might have a niche with this. So, I mean, Sisters Repentia getting buffs is completely fine with me, so that's good. And then Battle Sister Squad. This is the big one, right? Starting members from 4 to 5. That's a crazy change, by the way. Build cost from 140 to 175. Build time 16 to 22. Oh. Reinforced time 6 to 8. Fossil grenade ability damage over time decreased from 8 to 7. Fossil grenades armor piercing against infantry medium. Guardsmen, guardians, cultist decreased from 90 to 70, both over time and grenade damage. Veteran superior damage boost to squad members decreased from 30% to 20. Damn, this is... Honestly, I must admit, this might be some next level big brain move by Relic. They just made it more standardized. It takes more time to get out of the barrack, which is huge, by the way. And it's so crazy that, like, I, as a Space Marine player, I get my, one Space Marine squad and my Force Commander, and the Sisters of Battle already have 2 members of a Battle Sister squad and a Canoness, and there's like a third Battle Sister squad that I can't see yet that just got out of the barrack. That is crazy. 16 seconds is very low. And also, reinforced time is 6 seconds. Guys, that's Slocker Boy reinforced time. I think Relic is cooking. I can't believe they went this direction, though. This is very, 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 very weird. They really... This is such an interesting change. Fossil grenade change, by the way, 100% justified. I can't believe that when you have 4 Battle Sister squads, they just drop fossil grenades and several squads are just gone. This seems reasonable. I don't want fossil grenade to get too much nerfed, but especially infantry medium for guardsmen is 100. Shout out to the IG players. This was very justified. So I am completely on board with this. Veteran superior damage boost to squad members decreased from 30% to 20. That sounds fair. I'm on board with this. I'm very much on board with this because this was, yeah. Battle Sisters overall got very heavily, they got nerfed, but not too ridiculously. Battle Sister squads are still going to be really, really good, I think. Damn, honestly, guys, I gotta give Relic credit. This is borderline reworking a unit. Like, changing the structure of a member is very, very... That's very, very, very clever. I think they absolutely cooked. This might be the most interesting change of all time. Kudos to Relic. Canoness, faith income reduced by from 2 to 1.75. This was a very underestimated buff that I haven't talked about, but I think this is perfect that Relic is going this direction. Kudos, Relic. Respect. Because as soon as the Canoness got out, and you got your first icon, so you have 40 max faith, suddenly they just heal all day long. So reducing their overall faith income as soon as Canoness gets out by 0.5 is really heavy nerfed, I think. But in a very, very fair way. Act of Faith, Ascension ability cost decreased from 85 to 70 faith. I think that's fair. 85 is so high, so... Act of Faith, Ascension ability duration increased from 30 to 40. Yeah, that's fine. That's very fine. Petrifying Light. I can't believe they did not truly nerf this. If they even touched it, to be honest, I'm not even sure. Because Purifying Light is so OP of a ability. You just, in a huge area of effect, just decrease all units, or at least infantry, their accuracy by some ridiculous number. So the duration going from 20 to 12 seconds is very good. The only reason why it was fair before is because there was less faith in rotation for Sisters of Battle. So this is very, very justified. And then Act of Faith, Purifying Light cooldown decrease from 180 to 150. Cooldown lowered by 30 seconds. I need to finish this up. Ooh! Man, this minefield is OP! What are you talking about? This minefield is OP. And this isn't enough. Cost increase by... The damage needs to be lowered. It's too crazy. It's way too crazy. This is... I think this should be 50-50. If they're not touching the damage, it should be 50-50. Like other minefields. And even that, I'm not even... I don't know. The Percutus minefield is so OP. The low-key rework they did to it is just way too bonkers. Minefield... It's justified nerf didn't go hard enough. This is the first pseudo-L of this whole Sisters of Battle changes. Exorcist... Oh, sorry. Immolator. Twin Flamer. Morale damage decreased by 20%. Very good. Confrontation ability now also deal damage to commanders. Armor piercing set to 50% against commanders. This ability has 100% armor piercing against infantry, so commanders will take half that damage. I didn't know that it pretty much didn't deal damage to commanders. Good change. I'm very happy they nerfed the Heavy Flamer, Twin Heavy Flamer, because the morale drop is just too crazy. So this is good. And then Exorcist, morale damage and knockback force decreased by 20%. Honestly, guys, even though this seems like a lot, just like the Basilisk, Exorcist is crazy. So this is very justified nerf. Kudos. Sisters Repentia Mistress. Sisters Repentia Mistress was not targeted by Walkia Blessed Armor and Walkia Sacrosanct Armor. Oh, I remember people talking about this. Due to it targeting Mistress file not in use instead of correct one. This has now been resolved. Very, very good. Okay. Repentia getting some low-key buffs. Rhino Transport. Bug fix. What bug? Max limit for Rhino wasn't applying correctly. Did it have one? It never had one, right? Wow, it is a limit of 3 now in the game. This is a low-key interesting nerf. At least it's a very situational one. Damn, they cooked with Sisters. I am very satisfied with the Sisters changes. I am very, very satisfied. Guys, honestly... Even though I'm maybe sounding a little, you know, negative, maybe that's single-handedly because I'm dying in here. Honestly, Relic is really, really on point with a lot of these nerfs and buffs and changes and adjustments. They're doing really well. This patch might actually be better than the first one. Yeah, let's get into it. So, Space Marines, okay. I am very interested in what they're gonna do. So after update 2.8, Space Marines are no longer one of the weaker factions in the game. Facts. That's true. That's facts plus tax. That's perfect. We're now focused on adjustments to their mid and late game. Fair. The Chaplain is now cheaper and faster to build while reducing the impact of its healing aura. Okay, they really went there, huh? This should let Space Marines build the unit faster in early tier 2 when it is really needed, while also reducing the strength of its healing, which together with heavy cover and Rhino smoke launches made Space Marines incredibly durable. I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned it. This is the biggest strength of Space Marines. It's them being completely unkillable in tier 2.5 in heavy cover. This is very fair. It just depends on how hard they're going. Smoke launchers has also been adjusted to make 2.5 Space Marines a bit easier to deal with. Orbital bombardment is now less likely to wipe out buildings like Necron generators and Ork banners on its own. This makes it less of a game ender when used successfully on cluster of buildings. The twin-linked last cannon of Dreadnought should now be worth upgrading to 2, I think they mean, and the Furious Charge of Grey Knights should now knock away their opponents a reasonable distance. Okay, oh yeah. Assault Space Marines Melter Bombs. Shout out to my Necron brothers. This was absolutely needed. And it's for... Okay, it's against all buildings. You know what? That's fair. Melter Bombs is crazy to me. They're too overpowered. If you have 2 Space Marine squads, you can just get in there and almost one-shot a building. I say almost. This is very justified. I like this. Space Marine Sergeant reinforced time decreased from 30 seconds to 25. They didn't go hard enough. I feel like this should have been 20. Because 30 seconds is crazy, dude. What? 30 seconds reinforced time for the Sergeant is crazy. It's actually one of the underrated things. I think Relic is very on point in doing this. So Space Marines has a very weak tier 2 in isolation. So if you take out the tier 2.5, I know you can't, but if you just try and do that, if you actually think about it, Space Marines is garbage in tier 2. They have kind of questionable upgrades. That's kind of slow. The Chaplain takes ages to get. Sergeant takes ages to get. And if they also want to get the heavy weapons on top of it, it also takes too long. Other races just clicks on one button and suddenly they're just OP in tier 2. AKA Eldar. Even IG is in that conversation because they can kind of ramp up their heavy weapons while getting their upgrades. It's a little bit like weird with Space Marines. It's not as fast. In fact, it's slower and it's not as impactful. So this is good to me. It should be lower. I think it should be down to 20 seconds. But you know what? I'll take this any day. Armory. War gear. Oh, this is interesting. War gear Bionics level 2. Research time decreased from 40 to 30. So this is exactly what I talked about. And then War gear Enhanced Target Finders research time decreased by... So by 5 seconds. Fair. War gear Enhanced Target Finders bonus to Space Marines boulder damage increased by 12. I think Relic is listening, huh? I mean, it's only the bolters. The reason why Enhanced Target Finders is important for SM to get is because of how it buffs other races like... or other weapons like heavy bolters, plasma guns, etc. It's not going to be very impactful with the bolters, but I don't think it's going to be completely useless. I'm completely fine with this. You know what? I'm not satisfied with this, but to be honest, I'll take it. I'll take it. Honestly, Space Marines is in a pretty decent spot right now, and I honestly think it's just very matchup specific things that makes SM suffer now, and not so much their internal numbers. And this is buffs, justified buffs. You know, needs a little bit more for the Sergeant. I like this. Honestly, I'm completely fine with this. I think this is okay. I think the heavy bolters could be in a conversation for a little bit of a small upgrade buff. But if Relic think that's too risky, then don't do it. Grey Knight's Furious Charge ability to knock back. Oh my god. Yeah, it's decreased significantly. Honestly, I'm completely fine with that because I can't believe, like, a guardsman, if the Grey Knight just came in, that guardsman is flying to the moon. So, I'm completely fine with this. It's a funny change. Relic be like, that's messed up, dude. We need to change that. Dreadnought. Twin-linked last cannon But it's normal Dreadnought. Yeah, because otherwise... Yeah, okay. Twin-linked last cannon damage against vehicle medium. Most normal vehicles like Dreadnoughts, Predators, and Destroyers. Increased by 80%. What? Twin-linked last cannon damage against vehicle high... is increased by 200%. What? That's such crazy numbers. What is going on here? By the way, I never... like, the twin link... I swear to God, right? I started playing this game like around COVID. I don't think I've seen the twin-linked last cannon in a 1v1 game in my entire life. I am not trolling. So this, in my opinion, is completely fine. Well, it depends if I am underestimating the numbers, but I don't think so. Where's the twin link? Oh, here. 36. What's the Wraithlord Brightlands? It's 74. Okay, I think this will almost match the Wraithlord, which is fine because the Dreadnought literally almost have 5,000 HP. So, and twin-linked last cannon 36 medium. No, sorry, the high is okay. I understand now. 200% is not crazy. That's what is that? That's 30. That's 30 damage. That's completely fine. What is the Wraithlord? At 33. You know what? That's completely fine. I don't know, dude. I still don't think I will use the twin link because, as far as I remember, it also removes one of the Dreadnought's hands, so it lowers the melee DPS. But honestly, I'm kind of interested. Maybe this will be a niche thing and it will actually help in certain matchups. We'll see. Very interesting change. I don't think it's going to be useful, but hey, I've been wrong before. We'll see. It's very interesting that they went that direction. Force Commander, Orbital Bombardment, damage against building low, mostly listing post generate. Honestly, decreased by 30%. I'm completely fine with this because it's ridiculous in team games. And there are certain moments against like certain races, especially War Banners and stuff, where, you know, Force Commander just getting in the Rhino, do a little bit of drive-by, just doing like his version of an Uzi, and then that Uzi is just literally removing everyone. Honestly, Orbital Bombardment is still gonna be really good, I think, against building low, but it's gonna be less crazy. That's fine. I think that's justified nerf. Rhino smoke launchers, morale and range damage reduction decreased from 50 to 40. Very justified. This ability is the most OP shit I've ever... Like, I can't believe this is a thing. Smoke launchers duration decreased from 30 to 20. It was also so long. Very justified, especially in heavy cover. This is crazy, but I actually think it's even more OP outside of heavy cover because it literally is just you saying, today, for 30 seconds... this is going to be heavy cover. That's a crazy thing. And then you're just in a duel with a Space Marine player that has heavy bolters and stuff. Nah, that's completely obnoxious. Good nerf. Chaplain cost. Cost decreased by, what's that? That's 45 requisition, still the same power cost. Build time decreased pretty significantly by 45 seconds, or not 45, what's that, 12 seconds. Demoralizing shout ability duration, that's completely fine. What an absolute insane duration. 15 to 12 seems fair to me. Chaplain healing aura, health regeneration multiplier by, ooh, this is a big nerf actually. And then Chaplain healing aura morale regeneration multiplier is also cut from 3 to 2. I think that this... I think this is overall in 55-60% of situations a nerf. And I think this is in 40%-ish going to be a buff. In moments where you need the chaplain, you just need him right now. Like, you don't have time and resources to just... Like, he's very expensive and he takes like ages to get. I think that in those moments it's good. There are some cases, for example, I actually think this buffs Necrons a lot, actually. This buffs Necrons a lot, actually. You know what? I think this is fair. I think they should lower the power cost a tiny bit as well and maybe do this to 42 seconds. I think they overall nerfed him a little bit too much. But honestly, I think it's fair. I think Relic at least is doing the right direction here. Overall, I'm actually satisfied with the Space Marine changes. I think most of it is fair. Especially considering external buffs that Space Marines is getting. I think this is completely fine. As you can see, I've put them in good. So I think this is acceptable. Worst case scenario, it's a little bit, you know, I'm not completely, you know, satisfied. But best case scenario, this might be really good, you know? So that's how I feel about Space Marines currently. Okay, damn, I don't know how long this... that fan is not working, okay? I'm trying to survive, guys. Full-scale war research now requires Kaon command post and Monkar command post. Kudos. Plasma battery, this is the same as Eldar. This is fair. I am very happy about that. Bespit Sting Strain. Damage against infantry medium decreased by 10% on all weapons for it. This is good because... this will help IG a lot. This will help a lot of just in general Kappa units. And I think actually this is fine. I don't think this is needed. I wasn't thinking when Bespits is mentioned, it's not, you know, the first thing that comes to mind. It's not that, that infantry medium damage is just too high, isn't it? That's not the first thing I'm considering. But you know what? I'll take this any day. XV-15 Stealth Team, Stealth Suit, Stealth Team Fusion Blaster, and Fusion Blaster. Yeah, that unit. Damage against commanders decreased by 25. That's true. That stuff is too OP against commanders. Thank you. EMP Grenade Ability Area of Effect decrease. Oh, they have that. Relic is cooking. Relic is cooking. Fire Warriors Shazwai. Photon Grenade Ability damage increased. That's fine. The grenade is kind of doo-doo, and they can only get 2 liters at this point, so this is very justified. In fact, they might actually be able to go even further, so that's fine. Fortified... LP2 damage increased by 10%. You know what? With Eldar, I'm like, I don't know, bro. But this one is justified. I think, oh, the Devilfish. Okay, that was a lot of spoilers. I think this is completely fine. I think the LP2 is a little questionable. So this is good. This is completely fine. I think it's acceptable. Drone Squad. Oh, we don't see this unit, don't we? Build cost decreased 105 to... Wow, that power cost got lowered a lot by 40? Oh my god, math today is terrible, dude. 45, actually. Reinforced cost is lowered by 20 hour. Reinforced time decreased by 5 seconds. Will this make Drone Squad good? I don't know. I would rather get, you know, other anti-infantry units. I don't know. I don't think this is good enough. But, hey, it's very, very justified buffs. Barracuda damage to commanders decreased by 50%. Damn. Thank you, Relic. I'm very happy about that. There's no way that this should deal this much damage. I'm very happy about that. Devilfish damage reduced by 20%. For all weapons? I know the Devilfish is dealing a lot of damage, but 20% seems like a lot. I mean, Drone Squad, you know what? I'm gonna give Relic the benefit of the doubt. This might actually be completely fine. Targeting optics. Wait, this is not Advanced Pulse Rifle. No, this is not Advanced Pulse Rifle. This is the Tier 3 one with the Chaos Command Post. Fire Warriors Team Pulse Rifle of Shazua. Pulse carbon range bonus decrease from +10 to +5. From max 50 to 45. Honestly, this is very, very good. In combination with the Advanced Pulse Rifle. This is very justified because 50 range, guys, is freaking insane. It is so bonkers. There's no doubt in my mind this should not be a thing. But the Advanced Pulse Rifle damage, I think, should be lowered. Not by much, but just a tad. I think it's too strong. But this is completely fine, at least in my opinion. Research time. Was it 25 seconds? Yo, that's crazy. Okay, I like this. 40 seconds. This is really good. I think this is good. Very, very, very good. Yeah. That's fine. Crew talks. We need this unit to be more viable, right? Max speed increased by to 20. Okay. Rotation rate is increased by 25%. That's real good. And then melee damage against buildings reduced by 20%. It's gonna make the unit more mobile, which is very much needed. I think this is a good way to go. Will this make the crew talks more powerful? Questionable. You know, question mark. But I'm fine with this. And then Crisis Battlesuit, health regeneration increased from 1 to 3 hit points per second. This is interesting. I think 1 HP for a unit that cannot be repaired in tier 4. I think that's, or tier 3, I should say. It's tier 3, no? Yeah, whatever. For a late game unit like Crisis Battlesuit is very justified. Broadside Battlesuit health regeneration, they did the same thing. Missile pod damage is decreased further by 10%. They already nerfed this, didn't they? Missile pod damage against infantry medium starting units like Guardsmen further decreased by 20%. So this is gonna help IG a little tiny bit, I guess. Is this gonna make broadside battle? Well, this buff here, the health regen buff, is very good, honestly. Crisis Battlesuit is very good buff. Skyray Gunship, damage decreased by 30%. Damage against commanders further decreased 40%. Knockback change to be lowered overall. Increased a little bit on the low end. Skyray Missile Gunship is very underrated, to be honest. So I'm very happy that Relic did not miss this one. Skyray and Broadside Battlesuit Bugfix. The projectile Tau Smart Missile, which is used by Skyray and Broadside Battlesuit, lacked a value for rotation speed, which made the missile weapons of these units unable to track enemy units. Any unit which moved sideways was missed 100% of the time. I did not know that. What a disgusting bug, dude. What a disgusting bug, dude. Rotation speed is now set to 20, like for other Tau missile projectiles. What? This is a huge buff, honestly. Now that makes sense. Now the broadside battles are okay. This is the funniest part of this whole thing. I can't believe I didn't know this. Damn. Okay. Targeting optics. Targeting optics now correctly increases sight radius of a shash by 10. Squad leader, blah, stealth team. You know what? This is good. Tau. I think Tau actually got really underrated buffs, especially the listening post. And they made Monkar command post more viable now. And they made sure that Kaon is not completely ridiculous. I think this was a good way to go. I'm still worried for Tau. Tau is probably still the race that I'm least comfortable to talk about. I think overall it's slight nerfs to Tau, especially the Devilfish one. I think overall it's buffs to, or nerfs to Tau. But it's just, the nerfs they are getting is on ridiculous stuff. And the buffs they're getting are on very important stuff. So, yeah, whatever. Let's get into the other stuff. Bug fixes and additional changes. In addition to above, balance changes and following improvements have been added to the game. Please continue to send reports, blah, blah, blah. Alright, controls. Added a new option for modern group selection that enables update functionality for control groups. Alright. Assign current selection on groups N. I'm not sure what this is. Shift plus N, add current selection to group N. Remove current selection of group. I must admit, I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what the hell this is, so. Whatever. Camera in unmodded automatch. The maximum camera distance is locked to 55 and loose files. They already said this, no? Mods will continue to work previous in... They already mentioned this. I would have liked this to be 60, 65, but this is fine with me. I respect that they took a stance here. Automatch maps. What? Added Deadly Fun Archaeology? Nice! Definitive Edition 2P to the map making map pool. Remove the Emerald Rip! This is the best change that Relic has done in this whole patch. Thank you. Emerald River is a disgusting map. I don't even want to explain. I know some of y'all probably like this map, but this map is objectively god-awful in so many matchups. There are unplayable matchups in the whole game, not because the matchup in of itself is unplayable, but because Emerald River exists. I might do a whole video on why Emerald River is a god-awful map, at least in my opinion. So this is perfect. Kudos. Perfect. Relic. By the way, I had to cut a little bit because, you know, I tried to pop some champagne, basically. And I know Relic be like, or not Relic, YouTube be like, this is a little bit, in terms of our policies with alcohol, so I don't want to do that, right? So, but I just know I popped champagne. I had to cut it out though. Maps fixed an issue that could cause black voids to appear at the edge of maps on certain. Yeah, that's perfect. Shadows. Fix shadows disappearing when casting objects is off the screen. Okay. Reporting added additional locking for crashes that occur on startup. If encountered, please wait until the Boxblat report is fully uploaded to see if there... Okay, whatever. Gameplay, save load. Fix an error that would cause incorrect units to be loaded into the honor guard when using a save file from previous patch. You know, okay, I saw a lot of people complain about their honor guards just being destroyed through a patch. This is perfect. Melee attacks. While unable to move, rooted units now switch to melee attack if there is an enemy within melee range. Ooh, this is an underrated thing. I love that. Projectiles. Abilities that fire projectiles now keep the unit busy until at least one projectile is fired, to prevent issues where a unit could start casting at a target at the limit of its range, when then have the ability canceled without a refund. Oh my god, this is very important that they did this, because this was a completely disgusting thing where an ability would just not really cast or not fully be casted or whatever, and then the cooldown would just be full. And this is so good, dude. This is perfect. And then abilities, the fire projectiles and targeted squad now have random offset applied to each projectile. I don't care about that. Pathing. Single unit squads commanders now correctly load into transport vehicles. What? This is such a perfect change, dude. This units doing this wiggle. Do the wiggle. They go to a rhino and then they'll be like... And you're like, get in that rhino! And then you just die because your commander was like, so, thank you, Relic. Winter Soulstorm, Sister, this is Dark Eldar. So, okay, so, Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar AI, I don't care about that. Dark Eldar AI. Warriors loaded in Raider now correctly keep improved statistics from Soulseeker. Ammunition. Soul Shrine Light now correctly hides when the Webway Gate Shroud ability is used nearby. Okay. Fixed Gretchens becoming stuck when queuing into build. This was very stupid bug as well. Battle Sisters added a movement disable FX to Canoness melee attack to show the victim is rooted. Nice. Fixed an error that led to having duplicated special unit in Celestian Squad when using auto build. This was such a stupid bug. I thought it was fixed and then it came back. Perfect. AI, Space Marines, updated Dreadnought last cannon firing animation to match the reload time. Perfect. Space Marines added a movement disable to show victim is rooted. Tau AI, Fire Warrior Shield Drone, now has the correct requisition cost after the first one. Okay. I guess it was wrong, and then fixed an error that led to having duplicated with Fire Warriors. Perfect. Art. I don't know. I don't care about that. UI. Multiplayer added additional messaging when currently facing an automatic suspension ban that may show additional messaging around. Perfect. Fixed missing background, lobby, password creating screen. Removed non-functional maps preview from object. Fine. Fonts. Font scale functionality and various resolution now correctly calculates based on vertical resolution. Good. Audio sliders respond more consistently when adjusting near the ends of sliders. Loading screens elements now have drop whatever. And mods, I don't care too much about that. Honestly, guys, I'm gonna make an analysis here. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, so I checked the patch, and I'm gonna be more loose with my explanation because I'm so tired. I am literally dying right now. So I need to just get this out of the way. Alright, Dark Eldar, Reaver Jet Bike, Warriors, Hellions across the board. Very low damage now in terms of builders now. Archon is more fair. Incubus, Reinforced Cost, even the Witches, Warp Beast. You know, we got some very, very good nerfs for Dark Eldar. I still think the Raider is too OP. And I am worried about the Scourges. But honestly, I'll take this all day long. I think Dark Eldar is now I'll put them borderline strong, but I'll make them stay in very strong. I still think they're very, very powerful in very skilled hands. I think overall they still got buffed because you removed the lows. But honestly, some of the highs being lowered, I am very happy about that. If it turns out that some of these changes are more impactful, we might go down to strong, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to stick them here. They're borderline strong. And if I get shocked and this warrior squad thing is a very, very big nerf, and I'm not considering it, then sure, we can make them good. But I can't imagine them being down here, so I'm just going to put them here. Sisters definitely got nerfs, but it was very, very smart nerfs. I think they got late game buffs that was very justified, and I think the faith is not enough in isolation. I still think the abilities maybe needs a nerf. I'm not sure. But one thing that's underrated about Sisters, which I realized isn't here, is that their power cost very early game is crazy low. The Pristine Sanctuary being lower by 10 power. The Canoness being 40 power cost. And the first icon is only 10 power. That is way too low for a race that potentially can go fast tier 2 while still going for a tier 1.5. It's too much. This is the same logic that applies to Orks when they were bunkers, is they can go tier 1.5 like nothing happened. I think Sisters is borderline close to that as well. And Sisters tier 1.5 is bunkers. I think the icon should be increased in power cost. And if not the icon, then something else. Because the power swords being increased is not enough whatsoever. Maybe the Infernal Pistol, I'm not sure. Something like that. It's too much power, too low on power cost. But other than that, really good changes. I think the Battle Sister squads staying very strong, but they are not completely unbearable and OP and just makes you go, what the hell am I watching? So I think Sisters is now in a strong category. I might be overestimating some nerfs, so they could be here. I might be underestimating, they could be here. So I'm just putting them as strong. I think that's very fair to say. I will give credit to Relic, because I think I can delete this row. I'm not going to delete it because I will need this template for next patch, but I don't think there's a single race up here now, which is very, very good. Let's talk about Necrons. Necrons, I am very worried. I have a feeling that this is going to help Necrons overall, but I think it's going to be too much in the Space Marine matchup. I think IG will have a fair chance now against Necrons. I think Orks might actually like be pseudo good now against Necrons because Orks got nerfs, but Orks is just perfect as a race against Necrons. I'm not going to explain why, because I want to be short about this. Eldar Rave Tomb needs more nerf, but other than that, Eldar got some pretty significant nerfs. So I'm not sure. I think overall, this is a healthy change for Necrons. But I think their lows are going to be very low. I think the tier 2.5 is too much for them. So I'm going to bump them down to strong again. I don't think this is good enough for Necrons. I am very worried. If I underestimate these changes, it might go down to mid, but I could imagine that. Good might be the lowest that they have. I could be overestimating this, and maybe this is the most bunker stuff that has ever touched Dawn of War, and they're up here. I just don't believe that, so this is the best they got. This is the lowest they got. I'm going to put them as strong. Eldar. I think Eldar got very justified nerfs. Now Eldar actually got nerfs. Which is very, very, very good sign. I'm going to put them in the low end of strong. I might actually put them at the top of good. Because these nerfs are very impactful and was... Yeah, I'm going to put them down in good. I think... This might be crazy. I think they're borderline strong, but I actually think they're in good now. It's just a problem. It's just as a Space Marine player... and I know IG has the same complaints. Even Chaos still low-key struggle against the Eldar. But Eldar, all those 3 races got either externally or internally buffed against Eldar, so I'm completely fine with this. I think Eldar going down in good is actually justified. Tau, I'm gonna stick them to good. I think they got overall nerfs. They got some slight external buffs, you know, Sisters nerfs, big nerfs to Dark Eldar and specifically the Tau matchup because their builders just gets eaten alive. I could keep on going. There's a bunch of things. It's just overall, I think Tau had overall some nerfs, but I think the external buffs will weigh it up a little bit. Especially the Necrons got some good nerfs. The tier 1.5 for Tau is really important, being nerfed on the side of Necrons, and Tau having some, you know, pretty important, significant tools now to deal with Necrons. Even though the Devilfish got lowered in damage, so did the Immortals one-shotting the Devilfish. So I think the external buffs will make sure that Tau doesn't fall down here. I hope that makes sense. I still, honestly, I think Eldar is still above Tau. Yeah, I definitely think that. Space Marines, I'm also gonna stick them here. I'm better. I think I'll put them above Tau, and I don't know, dude. They're gonna stay because overall we got some nice accessibility changes. There's some external buffs, pseudo, you know, Dark Eldar, or they might be too strong against Necrons now. Sisters might be more bearable. That might actually end up being a 50-50 now. Eldar's still gonna be painful, but now it's actually playable. Tau, I think it's close to 50-50, slightly favored to Tau. I think Orks is very close to being a favorite to SM now, if it's not actually favored. Gonna look at the changes. I don't know, the orbital bombard. I don't know. I think it's slightly favored to SM. IG got real buffs. I don't think it's buffs that hurts SM too much, but they are real buffs. I think SM is decent in this meta right now. I think SM just has 2 really brutal matchups, but I think Dark Eldar and Eldar at least reasonably got better. Maybe they got significant better. I need to see more. And IG, my gut feeling says that they can go back up in good, but I'm gonna stick them to mid. They're borderline good though, because a lot of external buffs. I think Eldar is more doable now to play against. It's not perfect. It's still Eldar favored. I think Tau did not get nerfed enough specifically against IG. I think SM might actually be slightly worse now against IG. I'm not sure. I think Fossil Grenade nerf, especially on the side of Sisters, will help IG a lot. And I think the nerfs towards Dark Eldar is also helping IG a lot. So finally, they got some external buffs, and they overall got buffed as well. So I think I could put them here, but I'm going to stick them down here just so far. I don't know. They got some pretty good buffs, though. Yeah, I'm gonna stick them to good, but just know it could be easily down here. Orks, they're gonna stay in mid, and if you already noticed, I actually low-key think this is the second worst race now. I was very close to putting IG below them before I saw the patch, but you know what? I think it's like this now. Yeah, this is unchanged. And then, I don't know, man. Chaos, dude. Chaos needs more help. I might be tripping. Their tier 3 got significantly better, and their tier 4 also got some real buffs. But I'm worried about the Defiler. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And then the Chaos Space Marines, I don't know, dude. I think Chaos needs more help. But, honestly, we got a bell curve, guys. And honestly, there's no such thing as a weak, like very weak race. And there's no such thing as a Giga OP race. And honestly, I said the last one was an 8 out of 10. This one was a 9 out of 10. because the complaints I had, I don't know, it's more like there wasn't there's probably not a thing in here where I was like, you guys are smoking. Maybe there was one or two. I don't remember. But this completely... I think this is a very, very good patch. The only reason why I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 is because there's some few things in here where I'm like, I'm worried. The Necrons could be really bad, actually, but they could also be really good. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks, but I think this is very fair adjustments. Yeah. We'll see. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys a lot. Shout out to all the other content creators who's covering this. Shout out to all the community members that made this possible. Shout out to Relic. I love you guys. Have a good one. Peace!